So Halsey released The Great Impersonator. I've been kind of looking forward to it, although it does seem like a chore right now going through an hour and 6 minutes of music. But I have enjoyed all the singles so far, and I've already started the first song. I'm like a minute into it, and I like the vibes of this song so far too. So hopefully it's an enjoyable hour and 6 minutes. But right now it does seem like a lot of work. The Only Girl Living in LA is like a pretty like phenomenal song. Like I was kind of like the ending where it builds up, I was like, whoa, I'm like loving this song. And like the little synthesizers all the way through. Very cool. Um Emotive lyrics. Yeah, very good. Very good song. Ego was super emo of a song. It like kind of reminded me of like alternative pop punk, like sort of like early 2000s vibes, but still really cool. Not my favorite single of the ones released, but I understand why it was. It's very catchy. And Dog Ears, I feel like also was like a pretty interesting track, like just the way it was like constructed and everything going into it. Also the lyrics, like where she talks about like her age in dog years and her blood type. It reminds me that she's going through some serious like health crisis over the last I don't know how long. But yeah, that was also explained on the lead single, "The End," which I'll get into. Letters to God 1974 is like a pretty good song. I feel like I like the lo-fi nature of it, and I found it interesting that like the begging to be sick when she was a kid type thing. Yeah, pretty like hardcore. Panic Attack is like a song that sounds a lot like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac at the start, but then it turns into its own like unique song as it progresses. But the beginning really does sound a lot like that Fleetwood Mac song. And The End is my favorite of the singles that was released. And I thought it was going to be my favorite on the record, to be honest, because I think it's just very, like, I don't know, it feels like timeless or something. Like, it feels like Halsey could probably sing this at, like, 80 years old and still feel, like, resonant or something. But that first song, The Only Girl in LA, is fighting for the favorite so far. In Letters to God, 1983, she references "I'm on Fire" by Bruce Springsteen in the instrumental, but it is an update of the other Letters to God where she was a child begging to be sick. Now she's reflecting on that as she's grown up, and now she's finally happy and the sickness comes now. And she's just begging God to, like, she doesn't want to be sick. I think it's, yeah, pretty great, pretty heavy stuff. And I'm curious about if Halsey is religious or not. I'd be curious to hear them talk about that more. Hometown's okay. It's a little too country for me, maybe, but I thought it was done pretty well. I Never Loved You, though, is very brutal and, like, straight up, like, graphic a little bit. Like, she's getting cut, like, talking about a girl getting cut up on the operating table. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good song. So throughout this record, obviously she's taking like inspiration heavily from other artists. Like it's called The Great Impersonator. And on her Instagram, she's actually been like recreating photo shoots of certain artists that it was inspired by. And then like putting which track like felt like the most like them. And for Darwinism, she puts David Bowie, which I guess I could see because of the space mentions and cosmic dust and all that stuff. But really what this song reminds me of is Heathens by 21 Pilots, which is like one of my favorite bands. So I don't know if like it's also inspired by 21 Pilots at all, or if there's a David Bowie song I'm missing out that sounds like that on the piano that 21 Pilots ripped off. Let me know. But yeah. And Lonely as the Muse is also like a pretty ripping song. Pretty great. Arsonist was inspired by Fiona Apple, which I'm not really familiar with their work, but this song specifically is like so fucking cool. It's like one of the most, like, I don't know. It's one of the songs I've vibed out to the most so far. And I'm enjoying this record so far, so yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty standout track for me. I'm definitely gonna go back to it. Life of the Spider is a pretty good piano ballad where she like envisions herself as this spider, this repulsive thing that you just want to like kill or get rid of. And I guess I do think spiders are kind of scary, like big ones and stuff, but like, yeah, little ones, like, I don't know, try and relocate them, I guess, if you get the opportunity instead of killing them. You know, it makes me sympathize for the spiders for sure. For Hurt Feelings, Halsey takes inspiration from Halsey and her work on Badlands when she was younger. And I think this song is a standout track on the album. It's like easily one of the best ones. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Lucky is the single that's doing the most streams. And it's the inspired by Britney Spears one. But for me personally, it's not like my favorite thing to listen to. But I do understand the pop appeal of it. So The Third Letter to God, 1998, I also enjoyed. I like the series of these. I do think the second one is my favorite one though. Just because, I don't know, I like the lyrics like, God, I don't want to be sick, more so than God, you're terribly sick. This one, she's like more angry with God or whoever it is or whatever it is. But she ends off the song with like saying she's terribly scared. So, I don't know. I think it's very vulnerable, these songs. All the songs in the album are pretty vulnerable. I do think I'm really enjoying this album. The Great Impersonator, also the title track, ruled. Like, it was also really great. I think I enjoyed this whole album front to back, to be honest. Again, an hour and 6 minutes is a little daunting to listen, but I think all of these were worth listening to, and they're all pretty vulnerable, going into her sickness and like being scared and like confronting God. I don't know, it was pretty cool. I'd give this album like a 9 out of 10, probably. All right, thanks.